On behalf of the International Research Institute for Manufacturing, it is my privilege to welcome you to the special evening of the Manufacturing Thought Leaders Summit 2026. Over the course of today's sessions, we have explored ideas that are shaping the future of manufacturing, from technology and digital transformation to leadership, sustainability, and competitiveness. As we conclude the first day of the summit, we now move into a different kind of learning experience, one that is more personal, reflective, and inspiring. This evening is not about presentations or keynote speeches. It is about stories. Stories of courage, conviction, perseverance, leadership, and service to the nation. We are honored to present Life Beyond the Launchpad, a fireside chat featuring two of India's most respected scientific leaders, whose work has not only advanced technology, but also inspired generations of Indians. Our first guest, Padma Bhushan Dr. A. Sivatanu Pillai, is widely regarded as one of the principal architects of India's strategic missile and defense programs. His visionary leadership played a pivotal role in the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile program and in strengthening India's technological self-reliance. Throughout his remarkable career, he has demonstrated how science, industry, and national vision can come together to create transformational impact. Joining him will be Padma Shri Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, affectionately known as the Moon Man of India. His leadership of India's Chandrayaan-1 and Mars Orbiter mission demonstrated to the world that ambition, innovation, and disciplined execution can achieve extraordinary outcomes with limited resources. His journey continues to inspire young innovators and engineers across the country. This conversation will be moderated by Ms. Rashmi Bansal, an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and acclaimed thought leader on entrepreneurship and innovation. An alumna of IIM Ahmedabad, she is widely known for best-selling books such as Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, and Connect the Dots, which have inspired thousands with stories of leadership, resilience, and entrepreneurial success. Together, they will explore the defining moments of their lives, the challenges they overcame, the mentors who shaped them, their perspectives on India's manufacturing future, and the lessons they believe the next generation must carry forward. Adding a unique dimension to this session, many of the discussion topics have been selected through live audience voting, ensuring that the conversation reflects the curiosity and aspirations of everyone present here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to Padma Bhushan Dr. A. Sivatanu Pillai, keep that applause going for Padma Shri Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai. And they are joined by our moderator, Ms. Rashmi Bansal, as they take the stage to discuss life beyond the Launchpad.
It's truly an honor and privilege for all of us to be here today with two of the people who have made our country so proud, and we are really looking forward to this interaction. I'm sure all of you are. So let me start with you, Dr. Pillai. You joined ISRO in the year 1969. What was it like then? I mean, today we are thinking about Chandrayaan and Moon mission and Mars mission. But this journey has been a very long journey, and there also have been some setbacks and failures. So, can you tell us a little bit about that part when it was not, you know, you didn't even know whether really your rocket would go up and stay up? Because there was a time like that.
No, it's all started with Baba and Sarabhai. So they formed a new a group called INCOSPER to see how science can be developed for space research. Then they thought that there should be a place where we start the work. So they identified a village, fishing village near Trivandrum, that's called Tumba. Why they selected that place was that's the only place where the magnetic equator of the earth is passing through. So if you want to really study the upper atmosphere for scientific research, you need a place where there is equilibrium. So they wanted to study in the electrojet very accurately the upper atmosphere up to 400 kilometers altitude. So the whole world got excited. So Sarabhai made everyone to get excited. So people started coming with their small rocket. They are all called sounding rockets to study the meteorological, parameters. That was the beginning. In 1963, he thought about it, but really things got shaped in 1967 when he thought that everything should be under one roof. So he formed ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Prior to that, everything was controlled by the Physical Research Laboratory from Ahmedabad. Now he needs people. So he thought the best people should be the experienced people from NASA. So he identified some of the Indians who worked in the different NASA units as well as in UK. He identified them, he requested them to come back to India and head various positions. So that is how he created more than about 12 top leaders from experienced people from NASA and other institutions. They joined, they came. Now you need people to support them. So he made an advertisement in 67, 68, 1,000 people. And they wanted everyone should be the top first-class people from various engineering colleges to apply. None of the IITians applied. All engineering college students. So you took them. Next year also you put 1,000, next year another 1,000. So 3,000 people he mobilized to support these top leaders and formed the group. So Tumba became Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station, TERS. Now to get the village also you had to struggle because this fishing village and he needs to establish their place. So nobody will give you a fishing village. There was a church, that Magdalene Church, very famous church in that place. And the fishermen never will allow the church to go. So Sarabhai went to the bishop and told him that we are going to do some scientific experiments in this place. The whole place will develop. Please help us. Bishop said it's very difficult to convince people. But anyway, you come to our Sunday gathering. So Sarabhai went there to Sunday. The bishop, he himself told them, what we are doing is science. We are trying to pray God to make ourselves good. That's all scientific. And this man has come to do scientific experiments in our place. Please allow him to do the work. Let us give our church to him. So when that bishop said, everyone agreed, and we started the work. So the church became the design center of the space research in India. That's a place. Dr. Abdul Kalam worked there. All these people worked there. Then there was a bishop house. That became the control center for doing the rockets. So that's how it started. How do you move? You have to move various electronic systems and all. You have to make it Made in church, but taken to the Launchpad by cycle. That was the beginning, just transported in bullock cart. Satellite, small payloads were taken like that. Many experiments were done, all related to the upper atmosphere. Then Sarabhai thought that we have got a group now, we have got people, we should think of big things. So he thought we should make the satellite launch vehicle. That was the one which he decided, SLV-3, the configuration. Of all the configuration, he chose the third one, that is called SLV-3. And then he thought that we should work out designs, we get into designs. The basic knowledge was not available with us, so you had to do that. So he sent teams to different places. He was having complete, good cooperation from all over the world. So he could send anybody to any place. Abdul Kalam, Ishwar Das, and Aram then, the IGS Murthy, these are the initial people who were there in the Tumba. So he sent them to Wallops Island, NASA. Abdul Kalam was there for nearly 6 months in that place to study the rocket technology from them. So like this, he started building people, giving the skill and oriented everything. It's a one man's effort, what you are seeing today. That is Sarabhai's effort. Then SLV-3 he started doing, it was coming up, then suddenly he died, you know that. And we don't know why he died. Very young age, 52. Then the Kalam, Dhawan came, Satish Dhawan. He built that organization. All streamlined, everything, no PRL. He put governmental system, he brought in Department of Defense, Department of Space was started, and then the ISRO reorganized, centers created, the whole launch vehicle development fully concentrated at the Tumba, that is, they called SSTC, at the ISRO centers. He named it as Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. And then all launch complex in the Sriharikota, and developing the satellite. He introduced the ISRO Satellite Center at Bangalore. Then all applications in Ahmedabad, SAC, Satellite Application Center. Like that, he created a structure and developed the whole thing for a long-term mission. So he introduced PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, then the GSLV, Geosynchronous Launch Vehicle, all introduced by him. Then many satellites came from Aryabhatta onwards, satellites came. So the ISRO grew with the mission-driven thing. So the question was, the 1969 when I joined, it was a barren place. It was just starting. And that was the time where the initial development of what is the rocket, you need a structure, you need a propellant, you need some chemical, you need electronics. All these things we are trying to find out how to do it, and all experiments we are trying to do that. That was the time. But 69 to 70 was a big period where the SLV-3 design started. 72 onwards, the whole thing moved up with Abdul Kalam as the project chief. The SLV-3 came, and I was part of the team, the core team. So the whole development completely changed to a mission to achieve, put the satellite around the earth. That was the mission it became. That was the beginning.
Okay, wonderful. So it has been a long journey, almost 60 years, you can say. Yeah. So, Dr. Annadurai, you joined ISRO in 1982. And by then we had some success, some failure. So what was the culture that you saw there, and how was failure treated, as a learning lesson? I mean, one of the questions that we have got from the audience is related to the failure that, could you give us, one example of a defining moment when failure became the foundation of future success?
Yeah, yes, Pillai has told a system was built up for that. The legacy, the leadership and the system is such that you should have a courage to do something new. For that, you should not failure should not deter you. I think that is the basic lessons that I started doing. Now, you fast forward, I think many missions we have seen to that. One of the such missions where I was the mission director, fast forward, that the mission was a very, very ambitious mission, the first ever time. Today you look at here, Indian drawing rooms are getting the televisions. Okay, that started from that particular satellite called INSAT 2E. And that is even 10 transponders were hired by $10 million, even that time, 92 time frame, INSAT 2E. And it was covering nearly 47 countries, from Australia to all the way to Europe. And this, I was mission director. First year, satellite, everything went okay. The second year, first of that itself, one of the sensor got failed, like our eye failure. Then another, end of the year, another one also failed. But now, anticipating if one has failed, second also if it fails, eventually what you should do, I think we regrouped ourselves, we worked for it. And yes, when it is failed, then we had the solution just very next day. Very next day. The Intelsat who hired the transponders, he wanted an alternate satellite. Chairman of ISRO called me and he asked, they are asking for this, what is your confidence? I told, as long as this is there, you are hopeful, next 10 years. Next 10 years, as per the contract, we will be able to live up to the expectation. He took the point and he told them, we are confident next 10 years the satellite will survive. And if you want really, you can make one more satellite, but this satellite alternate we are not making. So he told, and we'll up to that expectation. So bringing first ever time, a ground computer, connection with the satellite, operating that satellite, even in the absence of the two sensors, which never ever anywhere in the aerospace industry people could have given up. I think we didn't give up.
Okay, but how were these solutions found? I mean, is it that you have been doing research for a long time, anticipating that such failures can happen? Because overnight you can't get a solution
Exactly.
of this
See,
kind.
basically what was told is we should not work for only for the plan A. Plan B, plan C should be always. Anytime can fail. Okay. Your skepticism is the main thing when the aerospace is concerned. If the satellite is working further away, anything can fail there. But how to regroup and how to do that? I think that is the message was given and that is what we get.
So they don't have just plan B, they have plan C, D, E. I think unlike software, you can give an update in software. But if your, satellite is hardware, a lot of it, so you do have to have some backup for that.
When we are talking about failure, see, one should not forget the first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, when we launched on 10th August 1979, it failed. So what happened was we worked day and night for 7 years, made all the 4 stages, heat shield, control systems, and then the satellite, Rohini satellites. All these things were there, checked out nicely, and then launch first stage went very well, second stage failed. The reason is very interesting. Reason is when we launch, before the launch, there's a process called countdown. That means you have to go in the sequence, you have to prepare the launch vehicle, countdown. Now, during the countdown, we operate some of the systems, thrusters, so that to ensure that they function. What are these thrusters? These thrusters are the control systems to put this, there's a vehicle movement, launch vehicle movement, is not going straight up. You have to do pitching, you have to do control. If it deviates, it should be made to the right path. That is called the trajectory. So it has to go in the corrected trajectory, it should go. All these things are done by the thrusters. So when we did that, at T-minus 11 minutes, there's an operation called the thruster functioning. We did that, thruster functioned. What happened was, there's a solenoid valve which opens and allows the propellant and the fuel and oxidizer to flow. Then it should close. But the oxidizer solenoid valve did not close. Oxidizer is called red fumic nitric acid. So it is at this top, second stage top. So the fume comes out and immediately it becomes into the air, it's a red fume and it doesn't flow. We were all looking at the bottom and there was no color TV. 1960, when we were doing this 79 launch, there was no color TV. So all our focus was the first stage should take off. We forgot about seeing the top. So, but all the RFNA went off, and there's no oxidizer to actuate the thruster when it is demanded. So the launch took place, second stage failed because of that. Now the leadership, we are talking about the leadership. You should know when there's a failure, which we were talking just now, immediately Abdul Kalam, who was the mission director, he wrote immediately from notebook, he took out one page and then started writing, I am responsible for the failure, and gave to chairman, to Satish Dhawan. Chairman read it and he put in his pocket, and he called the press and said, as the chief of the organization, I am responsible for the failure. He said that. He did not expose the project director. And he said, we are not going to remain. We are going to be successful next launch. We have not fallen flat, he said. So next time, when we launched, 18th July 1980, SLV-3 was launched successfully, putting the satellite into orbit. That time he said, Kalam, press is waiting for you, go and talk to them. You know? So, when there was a failure, he took the responsibility. And when it is successful, he wanted to give the credit to the team. So this is a leadership. So the whole, if you see, the dynamics of ISRO is built on this type of principle. Same thing happened during Sarabhai's time also. When Abdul Kalam was in charge of testing the, nose cones. He was doing the payload experiment, sodium payload experiment. The sodium should burst at 300 kilometer altitude to give that information. He wanted to show to Sarabhai that I have developed. So he started the countdown, 10, 9, like that. But at 0, it should burst. Didn't do that. Failed. It was at 9 p.m. Then Sarabhai said, don't worry, you find out the reason. I will come at 11 o'clock. 11 he came. That time also it failed. Next day morning, he was called. Sarabhai called him. Then he came went to Sarabhai with the drawing to explain why it failed. But Sarabhai gave him a letter of promotion to him. See this principle, you see that leadership is not based on success. Leadership is based on what the intentions are. So this we should see. This is a very important message ISRO has given about the failure.
Yeah, earlier in the day we talked about culture and how it's very important to, create a culture to foster innovation and to tolerate failure and encourage. I mean, if you're going to innovate, you will fail. So I think this has been a very beautiful explanation given by Dr. Pillai. So I want to know a little bit about this Chandrayaan moon mission. I mean, what would be the origin? Because we also talked about this idea of entrepreneurship today, that all of you are employees of ISRO, government employees. So how do you have to also go to somebody and say, okay, this is our project, you have to sell it to them, you have to have a vision, you have to get the funding, and then you have to execute it. But how does that happen? Is it the government says ki humko ye karna hai, it's their mission, or it's your mission, and how do you, because many people in this room, maybe they are not the people who have the control, the money, but they have to go and sell their vision to somebody and say, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand together, because now you look at here, government, I think we have to propose this concern. This particular Chandrayaan is concerned, this moon mission concept came we have after the Pokhran. Then every year that day being celebrated as a technology day. First technology day oration, then chairman of ISRO was making. And actually, a couple of V-graphs have come from us only, but whatever this, he was, as an ISRO chairman, he was making a presentation. And when making a technology day presentation, this is equally with atomic energy versus space. So now, within the space is concerned, what is the technology is evolved. And while putting all the things, the last view graph he has put, such these kernels, and a destination of moon is ISRO's next big thing. If everything happens, we will able to launch the mission to the moon by 2008. This is the last line is put it that. But that time, our PSLV itself yet to be operationalized. But this is the bold thing he made it there to showcase ISRO also can do technologically, we can do it. But that particular view graph was taken the next day on the national newspapers, and it was glittered ISRO's next big thing is thing. And it has seen to the policymakers themselves. I think they initiated from there, and then the story has become there. But only thing is, we started with the Chandrayaan mission, but then Prime Minister of India, he made Chandrayaan-1. That means it is not only one mission of this kind, it is a series of the mission. That's how the moon mission series is a part and parcel of ISRO's history. So it is a both the people doing together.
But vision came from ISRO first, and I think also because maybe it got published, so there was some sort of little bit of a pressure, and then maybe they realized, oh, this can be a very good mission, and it can raise the profile of our country. So I think one should not hesitate in proposing things which are very big, because maybe it was a big mission to this announce without the approval. I mean, you don't have to wait for the approval. First, the vision matters. So a little bit about you joining. You joined DRDO after many years in ISRO, and then you were the first project director of BrahMos. So can you tell us a little bit about that phase and how, it was a joint venture, right? It was with Russia. So what are some lessons we can learn from, BrahMos, which has been so crucial to India and its defense? If we had not embarked on that project, we may have had a lot of difficulty today. And it was, a very far-sighted project. So can you share some leadership lessons from that journey?
So we did our Agni, Prithvi and other missiles. Agni, Prithvi, they are, they are nuclearized missiles, that they are long range as attacking missile. Then we had the Akash, which is a defensive missile, Nag, another attacking missile for the third generation anti-tank missile. And Trishul, again, the surface-to-air missile. So these were the 5 missiles called the Integrated Guided Missile Program, started by Dr. Abdul Kalam in 1983. So when I worked with him from 70 continuously, so he thought that I should join him. So he took me to the program. I was made as the program director for the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. So we were working there. Now, the point is, when we launched SLV-3, we were the 7th country in the world to do putting a satellite in the orbit. When we did the Agni, we were 6th country in that. And all PSLV, anything you take, all 5th country or 6th country or 7th country, that was the situation. Now we have reached the 4th country situation by the Chandrayaan program and other new program in space. But the question was whether India can become number 1. That was the question. So this was debated many times, but we could not find any answer to that. So then that after we have seen success in our initial launches of Agni, Prithvi and other missiles, then he forced me to take a break. I went to Harvard Business School. That was the time when the 91, the war was taking place, the Gulf War. So I closely watched the Gulf War and found out the whole thing is driven by a cruise missile, which is not in our program. Tomahawk. The American Tomahawk was used from the Persian Gulf to destroy all the radar systems which were looking up to monitor the aircraft which bomb us. So we also need a cruise missile. So we don't know what cruise missile we should do, what is the technology involved. Those things we didn't have much idea. Now, should we repeat what the Americans have done, or should we think of something different? So this was a debate. So after coming back from Harvard Business School, he gave me the task, you must come out with a good idea. So he said, you talk to the Russians. We were having a program with them on the underwater missile technology, which was actually I was leading the team. So I told the Russians that we want to make a cruise missile. Can you tell us how to do it? So then they said, if we want to take a lead, don't do what the Americans have done. That is subsonic cruise missile. Speed is less than the speed of sound. You must make supersonic. How to do supersonic, we will tell you how to do it. So Russia, when it was Soviet Union, the only country to have developed a supersonic engine for cruise missile. Americans didn't have. So they showed that engine and told, you take the engine, use that and try to come out a configuration. So we don't want to take that technology. We thought that we should have a joint collaboration. So we formed a joint venture. Joint venture is from the Russians and Indians. So we named it as BrahMos, Brahmaputra and Moskova, the name of two rivers. Because we wanted to make as a anti-ship missile, so we had to put that name. Now, how do we form a joint venture when the whole Soviet Union collapsed and they were not having any funds? That was the issue. So, fortunately, we had a very good Prime Minister, Narasimha Rao. So we told him, we went one afternoon, Dr. Abdul Kalam took me also with him to present the joint venture. So we presented. So he asked, what do you want? I said, two things I want from you. One, make it as a private company. Don't put us in the government. We don't want any IAS or finance to control us. Okay? Second thing is, you make it such a way that it is a top secret program. Don't go through the procedure of getting approval. So he was a defense minister and prime minister. He said approved. You see the Chanakya thinking, government money, government funding, but he said you can make it as a private company. Now how to make a private company when there's no fund from the Russians? So we told them that there is a payment involved for our procurement from 1962 onwards for the MiG program, all credits. We didn't pay anything. We got equipment from them, all planes, everything. But we were returning the money in kind, nearly $1 billion per year. So we said, from that, can you divert? He said, I have no problem, you talk to the Russians. It took some time to convince the Russians, but we got it. So we made it 50.5% for India and 49.5% for Russia. One percentage is higher, that is India wants to dominate, that is one thing. Second thing is 50.5 means there is no government. If it is 51, we would have got government. So we made it like that. So approved by no consultation. So immediately Narasimha said, it's a good idea. You do it. Then there's a specific rule is there in government, Rule 12, where we don't have to go through the procedure of all these things. Prime Minister can take a decision in the interest of the country. So he made a top secret program and approved. Then Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was the finance minister, approved the program. So these two people have to agree. So we started the program. I was made as the CEO. And to start with 2-3 people, we started doing night operations. Because we can't tell, it's a top secret program. Like that, 3 years we worked at night. And then it came. Jointly we worked with the Russians. So configured the system, developed the technology, the whole guidance, precision is ours. See, there are 3 components in that. One is speed. Speed, supersonic. That is Russian contribution. Precision is our contribution. That is, we have to hit the target correctly. Then power. Power comes from the speed. Kinetic energy comes from half mv squared, velocity square. So this type of combination working together in a different culture, we have to do all these things. Closely guarded, we did that. But when we were ready to do the launch in 2001, Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. So we went and presented to him saying that, sir, we are going to do the launch, it will be known to the world. It will be no more top secret. He said, no problem, launch. He cleared that. So we launched, then India became the first country in the world to have a supersonic cruise missile. Now we didn't want to stop with that Navy. We wanted to do it for Army, we wanted to do it for air. Air means the Russians, they said, we are helpless. We don't want to interfere, you do it. So we did the whole launching from the Sukhoi. We only have, Russians don't have. Even equivalent they don't have. So all three services we have in Sindoor operation, we have launched from the air, from the Sukhoi, you know. So today we have mastered the whole technology and we became number one. China doesn't have equivalent system. Americans don't have the equivalent system. So that's how it is.
So, Dr. Annadurai, I want to ask you that in space there is, you can do technology transfer or you can create technology on your own. Like in this case, there was a joint venture, but still India has a, certain parts of that technology are ours. So, what do you think is the, there are everybody sitting in this room is from manufacturing sector and many of them may be, doing technology transfer, joint ventures, but how important is it to invest in R&D and create your own technology?
Yeah, basically look at here, there are the same changing environments, whatever happens. We don't know who is a friend today, whether we tomorrow who or not. So that way it's coming, self-reliance is the real requirement, starting from food security, energy security, border security. That means whatever you talk about there, definitely technology, if you have, then only it will be more secure. So that way you look at there, definitely the technology development for our own reasons, our own people, our own security, definitely the technologies on our own thing is really called for.
But I'll just ask in the room, like, is it happening? Are we developing our own technology or is it cheaper and faster to just get it from elsewhere? What is the prevailing thought on this? Suppose AI, now AI has come and, it's a big opportunity and a big challenge, but almost every large language model is not Indian, so is it important to have in every sector an Indian technology presence? And what does it take? Is it like about money? Is it about vision? What is the importance of, is it money that's holding us back? What is holding us back from being like number one in so many other fields? Like
it's a mindset. Okay. I feel it's a mindset because the India has to be free, independent is one way. And we should be secured in a way is another thing. For example, today, the LLMs, when we are not investing and our people are not going there, I told various securities. So our intelligence itself will be unsecured. Definitely because we are the species here because of using our own mind. We have grown up here from nowhere, one cell, two cell, monkeys, we came here only because of this growth. But still, the one cell sits there. Still monkeys they are there. But the way in which we evolved, if we don't use it, we will go back. That means our own security point of view, definitely this is the new technology also we have to involve. And we have to make our own investments. And the mindset definitely has to change. Somebody will do for you. I think that no longer you can keep it that way. Definitely you have to do your own way.
Okay. So can you give some advice to all of us about how India can be world-class in manufacturing and in many other sectors? Like if we were number one in BrahMos, can we do that in many other sectors? And what are the 2 or 3 things that we need to do to make it happen?
No, I will compliment what Mr. Annadurai has told. ISRO initially wanted technology from abroad. Let us take the liquid propulsion system for PSLV. Second stage is called Vikas engine. That technology came from France. But what our people have done, they improved it. It was originally being operated at 58 bar. Our people have improved it to higher pressure and gave back the technology to the France. So our intelligence is high. Initial input they needed, that they got. But now you see the cryogenic, there was a problem of getting technology transfer, but they have developed everything and they have mastered the technology. That means we have the capability to do things, but certain high technology, certain inputs have to come. High technology, initially development takes more time, so we need to get that input, but then we can master it over a period of time. That's what the ISRO experiment is a top-class experiment. They are very successful. Similarly, in every field, you take manufacturing. Manufacturing, initially we were, how to weld two dissimilar material we were not knowing. Today we have mastered the technology. Fusion welding, we have become top class today. So many things have come. In the implementing the AI into manufacturing, Larsen and Toubro has established, and they say 25% saving in cost and time. So they have done in that line, they have done it. So our industries are incorporating the current technologies also into that by their own. It is not just copying or technology, they are doing it. So capability exists, but as he said, is that mindset, very important thing. It's a mindset which is not that. We have to change. We can do it. Once you have, you can do it. That should be the spirit.
Yeah, also P&L statement is there. I think I've heard that when some company announces we are putting so much money in research, the stock price goes down because then they feel ki, oh, it will take 5 years to bear fruit. So mindset not only of the people in the research part, but even the owners, they are not having a long-term view. I think your programs, minimum 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 60 years, but that is not
No,
the...
that is for various missions you are saying. Yeah. It takes time. But there are certain proving technology in a laboratory or in an industry, it is not going to take that much time. As far as India is concerned, it is the richest country in the world. No doubt about it. It is not the money which is constraining in any plan, any program.
Okay.
It's what we want to do. The will is not there.
Okay. So if you can suggest 2 or 3 concrete things that can be done, which can change the mindset.
I can tell you my experience. I am out of ISRO and today wanted to be an entrepreneur. Without even money also is it possible. And without R&D, many things are possible. Today we have come out with our own R&D. Create a green hydrogen with our own money, institute generation. And almost we are at the threshold of completely changing the foundries purely with our own green hydrogen based system for metal cutting. Many things are concerned. We are almost at the threshold. And we came out with the model, and we are demonstrated in a major institution called LMW Foundries. And now we are getting with the in and around Coimbatore, good number of foundries are there. I think today foundry means that good numbers are there. And entirely we want to change it, the thing, without a single paise from Government of India. Okay, everything is within that. And we are able to generate the money from out of R&D. This is just to showcase whatever we are putting investment, it is more like whatever you investing your son or daughter for education. It is not a waste. Definitely it proves the fruit. I think we are trying to show that. I think, as far as I am concerned, like that we have a lot of ample opportunities within us. And definitely we can do it. That means today you look for such opportunities, and how you can be an early bird in that opportunity, definitely you can gain back whatever is there. So I strongly feel today we can do. Artificial intelligence also one such thing, which definitely India can do much better. The logical thinking is concerned, India is second to none. And while we put our mindset alone, if it is there, we can do much more. And I feel it is possible.
Yeah, I really like that statement about, how we invest in our children. We don't expect immediate return. Like if we at age of 2, we think, why put in nursery? Why put like, it's going to take 18, 20 years for them to grow up. Then there's no point in, even sending your child to school. So it is an investment for the future. So I'll just wrap up with one last
No,
question.
one more point I want to add.
Yeah.
See, today India has come out with, say, missions. AI mission, quantum mission, skill development, then supporting the startups. All these things, there's a revolution taking place in India already. So these things will completely change the mind. That is what is we are looking at now. India is changing, moving forward. Policies are good. Today, India is the most respected country in the whole world. Today.
Yeah, I think recently also 1 lakh crore R&D fund has been announced where they do want to get the private industry connected with research. So there are many opportunities. So I'll just conclude this we can talk much longer, but everything you have done is so fascinating. But both of you are also authors. I came to know you have written 11 books. Yes. And you have written 9 books. So I think you can Google and find their books and get more detailed information on their life, their career, their philosophy. So I'll just conclude by asking you one question that today, earlier in the day, somebody mentioned it's very difficult to work with the young people today, Gen Z workforce. They don't want to work on shop floor. They don't want to be real engineers. And therefore, they are thinking of automating things because nobody wants to take over. So how do we inspire this new generation to think big and build big things and work for India?
See, IITs, large investment has been put by the government to all the IITs, and we want IITs to be the lead organizations in the world. But of course, they are not in the QS ranking, they are very poor. But what's happening is, all the bright chaps, they go and join IITs, and they don't work for India. All our missions, what we have done, we have talked about ISRO missions, BrahMos, the missile program or defense programs. No IITian. Without that, we have done. If the IITians also be there, the bright chaps are also working for India, then our brain power is much more. I have seen nearly 5,000 IITians working in Bangalore for designing the 797 aircraft engine. We don't have to make our Kaveri engine, we have not made properly. See the thing. So that is the type of thing which government has to take control and put like what China has done. Same thing we should do here. China has gone up. We were equal. 1948, both of us are equal, China and India. Today, they have gone up because of the policies. The government policies also should encourage the whole thing. Now, children, if you take the children, the Gen Z children now, so they are all in different way of life has changed now. And the influence of AI and other gadgets which have come is completely drifting them to a new era. But at the same time, when the Gen Alpha, which is going to come, they are saying that they will become superhuman. Their capability will be much higher. That's what they are saying. So if that is going to be the change, how do we develop our missions to use them better way? That type of thinking is required. We can't waste our manpower. We are the largest today. We are having 800 million young people, and 50% of our population is below 25 years. So we can't waste that energy. So we have to do that. So there should be a master plan to do that.
Sir, would you like to add something?
Yeah, because now you look at here, there are two issues I'm seeing. So India is the number one population already has come. Maybe the number of youngsters are more here. But 20 years from now, number of elders also will be more. Okay, the demographic change is going to be there. So I think it is now you look at here how Japan is declined. Earlier signs of this demographic change, how it's coming in China already known. Europe is known. So I told, learning from, you need not fail. Failure is a stepping stone for success. Doesn't mean you have to fail. You can learn from the failures of others. Looking at those things, I think the lessons to be learned is we have to start right away as a movement. How the demographic change, how we are going to do that. That means elders' wisdom, youngsters' dynamism. Both put together if we do, I think we will be the number one. So that is the way we should do that. So not only the number one for the manpower, so that is the way if you do that, that is the real manpower will be a part and parcel of that. So that's way up to 2047, the demographic change is not happening. After 2047, whatever we are talking about thing, I think the decline is going to be there. Not to happen, I think we should wake up now and bring in not only youngsters, even the so-called elders of tomorrow also to join together today. I think that is the need of the hour for India is concerned, not to fail as elsewhere people are failing. So the co-living of elders and youngsters is the need of the hour. We have lived for ages back. Now I think we have to restart that journey. This is what I feel it's a requirement.
That is really very relevant, very wonderful advice. So I hope this very fascinating conversation with two really, amazing achievers who have done so much for our country, I hope that it galvanizes you to also think big, think impossible things, have a vision. And it starts with that. I mean, everything ISRO started with one man's vision, Vikram Sarabhai. So it doesn't, I don't think you have to be the owner of the company also. We have, people working for government who are thinking big and taking us to the moon and making supersonic missiles. So I think there is so much to think and learn. And maybe tonight before sleeping, maybe open your phone and just write one sentence, like something impossible, some big dream that nobody has thought of in your sector, in your industry, and see whether that small seed which is planted can grow big and we can be number one in many, many industries, not just in one. Today we clapped when Sir said we are number one ahead of China, but why can't we do that in your industry? And everyone has the potential. So thank you so much, sir. It was a great learning experience. It was a great, joy and, great evening to spend with both of you. Thank you very much. And let's give both these gentlemen a standing ovation. Yeah, sir,
Do you have
just
any
asking
question
if
to
you
ask to us? Please ask. Mike, you want mic?
Yeah, you can take this one.
Hello.
Good evening, sirs. It's a really pleasure to interact with you. I have one question, having three sub-questions. One, you know that we are working on the AMCA, fifth generation fighter plane. When it will going to complete? Second one is that when we will going to develop our own fighter plane jet engine? And third is, what is the difference between fourth, fifth and sixth generation fighter plane?
See, this program is from NAL, National Aerospace Laboratory from Bangalore. They started the program HAMSA as well as the another plane, two planes. So we are not very successful. The main problem is we want to buy the engines from outside and then do it. Engine technology, we are very poor. Any engine you take, we are very poor. So that is the basic requirement is the engine technology we have to master. Making a airframe is easier because HCL has got a lot of experience we have got. So what we are now trying to do is not to think of HAMSA or small things. We are talking about the, AMCA. Have you heard about AMCA? Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, which is a stealth aircraft. The design is ready. We are developing the technology. We want to be one of the leaders. We are top end, we are good. Bottom end is we are not still struggling. That is true. What you said is true. It may not reach the stage of seeing HAMSA flying is not the important thing. But AMCA will fly. Future technology only I'm saying, stealth technology.
Yeah. There are more questions that we can take, but maybe offline would be better. Interestingly, I must carry on with what Dr. Pillai just said, in that India is a country in this space program and in our defense program seems not just to be having started later than most other countries, is more than leapfrogging over everyone at the moment. To go straight to supersonic cruise missiles in comparison to the rest of the world and become the first. When we started the cruise missile, we didn't know anything about it. So all your fourth and fifth generation aircraft and everything are going to be so new, the rest of the world doesn't know about it. And that's what I feel our country is about. And I'd like to, at this point, thank both our esteemed gentlemen for an inspiring, thoughtful, and deeply enriching conversation. We would like to thank Ms. Bansal for very ably moderating that session with our two legends here. We'd like to say that their experiences remind us that true leadership is measured not only by achievements, but by the lives inspired, the institutions built, and the vision left behind for future